Ho, ho, ho. It's Christmas, and this is the day of the AI show, and we are so happy that you guys are here with us today. We have not the whole crew, but that's okay. We thought people might be out. We do have Beth, Andy, and I'm Brian. And yeah, we're just coming to you today. We decided that a few of us were going to be around and could do this on Christmas Day. Andy, it's 7 a.m. where you are. So a little bit earlier for you. You haven't, I know you're racing to get underneath that Christmas tree to open up all your fun presents.
Santa already came, so
you're good. You're good then. We've opened up presents. My immediate family's opened some presents, and then we have a pause here, and then there'll be some more over at the grandparents' house. So that'll be coming up for us here in a little bit. But we wanted to jump in today. We decided to do this show. People are like, "You doing a Christmas show?" That's what I kept hearing from my family yesterday. And so I said, "Yeah." I said, "There's a couple of us that can do it. It's only 30 minutes. Why not? It might be fun." So the theme of this show, guys, is AI tech, AI gadgets, AI toys. What is AI? And what is an AI? It's a fun word to throw on the end of pretty much anything. And a robot dog that you can buy your kid for $20, probably not AI. And then there's the other end of that is the humanoid robots from Tesla and Boston Dynamics that probably have a lot of AI in them. So I don't know if you guys have any are there any on the top of your head or any toys or gadgets where you're like, you know what, that's cool, that's got some AI built into it, I would love to have that.
I want to just mention before you start, just in response to what you just said, that there's a progression that we've been observing over the last couple of months of creating smaller and smaller models that can fit into a smaller number of parameters. And so the toy robot dog that has onboard AI and memory is not far away.
No. No. It's here.
You got one, Beth?
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Okay, go.
I love it.
So there's a dog called Luna. And it's not $20. It's $4.88.
Yeah.
And that's and there's a $50 coupon, but it's ChatGPT enabled. And you can get it on Amazon, 1-year warranty against manufacturing defects. It doesn't, let me actually share my screen.
Do you have to pick up after it? That's all I want to know.
You don't have to pick up after it. It can learn tricks. It can do all sorts of stuff. They said it loves to play fetch, and then they show the actual real dog.
Yeah.
Like bringing the ball back, and the real dog is, I swear, looking at Luna like, what is it? It doesn't like it's not even dog enough like that that the dog is you shouldn't be here. It's not a cat, it's not a dog. It has ears that and the motion on its head, but it has wheels, so it doesn't have 4 legs like the Boston Dynamic.
But is the toy designed to speak to you as your dog?
The toy, here we go, is designed, it communicates, but it does not give spoken word response.
Oh, it barks in Morse code. Okay. Yeah.
Well, it uses, it's like it can play games with you on an iPad. So like it can touch and answer with its ear.
Yeah.
I think it'd be much more interesting to have a simile of a dog, but one that can speak to you, but is programmed to represent about the level of intelligence and sophistication of a dog, not AI level of intelligence, but just the dog.
The other thing that I thought was cool that was not dog based, because there are other robots and that kind of stuff, but Mattel came out with an AI Pictionary game, which I thought was kind of interesting. Okay. Sadly, it looks cheesy. It looks like they said to somebody that they don't respect, sure, go ahead, do whatever you want with it. And they did not put a ton of money into it. But it looks like you play it with an iPhone. I don't know if it has an Android app. And the humans draw and the AI guesses.
That's interesting.
That's an interesting twist.
Yeah, that kind of goes in line with your image to image apps that we've seen. who does that right now? Leonardo, I think, has it where you can draw what would be a very crude looking boat, a sailboat. And it's like, oh, you mean a sailboat. So that's kind of funny. That's interesting because that does exist. So putting that into a game format where the AI is trying to guess my crudely drawn whatever is actually kind of a cool idea. I like that.
And part of why I'm saying that it doesn't look like it's really massively thought out is if you've played Pictionary, it's like a full board game. You go all the way around. And this has like a little, I don't know, you go like maybe 8 places on it.
Yeah.
Like, guys, you really did not expect this to do well.
Just go to sort of throw it out there and see what would happen. You bring up, I want to go circle back to the dog thing. Okay. Because that's definitely going to be a hot market, I believe. I will say for somebody, maybe like my daughter. So my daughter, not jokingly to her, every year since she was as little as she could write a Christmas list, always writes a dog on the Christmas list. She knows there's not going to be a dog on Christmas. Like it's not coming. It's like, I always tell her when she's an adult and she can, whatever. But she's like, hey, if I don't put it on the list, it'll never happen. Right. I can't not put it on the list. So every year it shows up on the Christmas list. Right. So I look at some of these pets, these AI pets, if you will. And there's the one that's out. It's not called Luma. I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head, but they're back ordered. I don't know there's so much AI built, but it's like the dog doesn't get up and roam around. It's like, it looks like it's just laying, but the dog will lay in your lap. It breathes. It has a breathing sensation. It has a warming to it. It's got real fur or, synthetic-y real fur, whatever the case is. It responds to some commands as far as like looking your way and stuff like that. But it's just meant on like the therapy side of things, or elderly people maybe in a nursing home is where I see this being massive. You have huge issues with depression in nursing homes, as you would, and stuff like that. And I look at these kind of toy / actual human therapy type, and maybe there's a mix in there. And I look at somebody like my daughter and I go like, oh, like, actually, yeah, I don't know what that is, but I see a value in something like that in the near future, where it's just there for both comfort, but it's also got some AI built into it. So I think it's going to be a really interesting space. I mean, obviously people are working on this. And then I don't know, Beth, is it going to, in years to come, I don't think this is a 2024 thing, but is it home versions of the Boston Dynamics bot, where they always look like they just stepped on ice, like the feet prance, instead of looking more like a gallop or whatever. But is that the future of this? Is like, in the next 10 years, will people have fully autonomous AI robots that kind of like what you kind of see now, where they go out and they do, but then they go sit back like on a Roomba base to recharge. So if you're not interacting with them, they're charging on their base. And then if you're like, hey, whatever the wake word is, it goes around. It can maybe climb stairs. Maybe it can't. I don't know. I don't, it can remind you about your medications. It can remind you to go pick up your kids. What does that look like to you guys? Because it's definitely coming, but like,
I'll spin up on this one. Yeah. So just yesterday on NPR, I listened to a short article on a book that has just been written by Ray Kurzweil and one of his offspring. It's one of his children. Now, Ray Kurzweil is an incredible scientist, inventor in U.S. history, going all the way back to synthesis of voice, like, the sound of Hawking. That's a Kurzweil voice synthesis thing. The synthesizer that Stevie Wonder plays, Kurzweil. And he's now the chief scientist for futurism at Google. And so he's also written a lot about longevity and about the coming singularity. And he's really an advanced, mind in our world. So he and I think his daughter or son, some of his offspring, I don't have a lot of facts about it, but they've written a book about building a chat bot about their father. And so that they can speak to their father and they've accumulated. Now they've have access to extraordinary resources. So I'm very interested in getting the book and reading about the development of this chatbot and just what they do with it. But this is threading off of what you were just saying, Brian, which is how comforting is it to have a dog? Maybe it's even more comforting to have some physical representation of me in my mother's room in her state of dementia that she can speak to, and it answers in my voice and comforts her in my voice. Like the familiarity of those sounds and the constant omnipresence of something that's been built to represent the supporting community around a person of advanced states of dementia, for example, I think would take an enormous burden off the other members of the family who are having to take care of that person by being present to them, just in order to maintain psychological stability of whatever's remaining of their sense of self. So that's a very
both
interesting
sides too, Andy, right? The other side of that is even less human interact from the family because they're like, oh, the AI is there and can handle. So there's like,
there may be
it could be both sides, right?
Yeah.
It could be, oh, I never show up anymore because she's good or he's good over there. They can ask me anything they want anytime or whatever. And, you know, honestly, you just made me think too, like, again, not a pet person. Don't hate pets, just not a pet person, right? Beth, you go and I know you do pet sitting. And so you're much more around it. Andy, you've got all sorts of animals on the farm, stuff like that. So I also think, you know, all these people who grieve the loss of pets, is there something there in the future of some sort of manifestation, some sort of, oh, we can make your Cocker Spaniel, I don't know, some dog.
No.
Nope.
Nope.
No,
like
no
in
to what?
Some ways,
what are you saying, Beth? No to what?
No dead resurrection of Cocker Spaniel, either AI or cloning. Nope.
Okay,
nope,
we'll
nope.
pick a golden retriever. I don't know. Pick a dog.
No, it's not about the Cocker Spaniel.
Oh, you're okay. What are you saying? You just don't want to see that at all. You don't want to see a representation of a deceased animal that might help with the grieving process of a owner. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I don't think it would help with the grieving process.
Okay.
In fact, we've talked about dead relatives, and that seems like slightly less creepy to me.
The relative or the pet? Which one?
The relative. In a weird way.
Wait, the AI version of the dead relative is less creepy to you than the dog?
Yeah, the idea that this person's kids could talk to him. Andy's talked about doing that as well, right? So having something. You've talked about walking into your kitchen and have your mom say, "Hey, Bri, good morning," right?
How about a talking dead parrot? They don't have to bring the dead parrot back because
we need to get back to toys. But I was primary caretaker of my mother who through her dementia journey, which lasted about 6.5 years. And there was a time period where we had all these pictures on our walls of people that were part of her life, right? And that was really wonderful and connected to her. And there then became a time where she did not understand that they were pictures. She was starting to hallucinate a little bit, which happens with dementia. And I would, it took me a while to figure it out, but I would come in and she would be like, I don't like what they're saying to me. And okay. And my mom hallucinated a bunch of stuff, you know, there were soup ladies like, hey, what would you like? What would you like for lunch? Would you like soup? And my mom literally turned to the corner and was like, ladies, would we like soup? And I was like, excellent.
Yeah.
I'll go prepare yours and you'll let me know what they would like.
So now just imagine this. I love this example of the images on the wall. Well, now imagine if they really can voice, and the AI can, you know, with its camera, can figure out whether it's getting a positive or a negative response from the patient.
Yes.
And it's training itself to do only things that comfort and delight the subject. So I really, there's an amazing potential out there for something positive to come out of that.
Yeah. And and it just needs to be done in a sensitive way, because
Yeah,
in the same
right,
way,
for
the
sure.
same concerns that I have with doing this with children, you are
For
doing
sure.
it with a population who will potentially not be able to distinguish that this
Right.
is AI,
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
real. And there are times where, like we sense, like you are an energy in my space,
Hmm.
and now you sound like an energy in my space, but I cannot find you. Your
Yeah.
energy is non-existent.
No,
Okay,
I
well,
agree with you.
This is semi-morbid, so let's go back to
Merry
the fun
Christmas.
toys in AI.
Merry Christmas,
What do
everybody.
you got, Brian? Brian, show us something that's really fun.
Well, I'll tell you what. I will share my screen here because it'd be faster to. This is more of a visual. So let me just share my screen because we can kind of talk about some of these robots. This is 15. It's called 15 robots powered by AI, and they're insane demo videos. So we don't have time to go through all the demo videos, but 15 is more than I knew existed with AI robots. So I guess that's kind of cool. So let's just bring this up really quick. We'll just sort of scroll through. All right. So first up, it looks like Boston Dynamics Atlas. I think we have seen these videos. I won't bother playing it. But where Atlas can move all sorts of stuff. I guess maybe you won't hear any sound on this, but let's just see if we get a little.
Oh, we can hear the sound.
So,
Oh, you can?
worker
hear
hammering. Yeah.
Right. So picking up some wood, bringing it up to the worker up on some scaffolding. I think we've seen these sort of Boston Dynamics. I mean, obviously every year they get a little cooler. Now it's going to go up the steps. It's going to bring up a bag to him. So pretty cool stuff here. He's going up the steps, then up a plank.
He put the plank up there so he could go up there. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't know what was in that bag, but hopefully it wasn't breakable.
And he's doing like a $10 million man jump on all these things, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
Like side flip or something.
show
Okay.
off.
Up next is the Optimus Gen 2. That's from Tesla. We've seen a little bit of these guys here. Bumblebee, it says from 2022. And then, so now we're looking at the Optimus, the Gen 2. I would say the motions are actually fairly human-like.
Yeah.
They're not super jumpy or anything like that. So now we're seeing the robot kind of, I don't know, 30% walking speed boost. It looks like
It's an
my
odd
old
stance,
grandpa.
though, isn't it? Looks
Yeah.
like he's got it. He's trying to clench his butt there.
Right.
Yeah.
Charlie Treadwell said, it'll be a great advance when they don't look like they have to go to the bathroom the whole time they're walking.
Right. This one's new because it's from China, or not new, but new to me. Unitree's general purpose humanoid robot says the Unitree H1 is claimed to be the first general purpose humanoid robot with a price tag of $90,000. It's 1.8 meters tall, which sounds almost like 6 feet. If I did the fast math, I don't know what kilograms is times 2.2, right? So 47 kilograms times 2.2 would give you the pounds. And it can walk 5.5 kilometers per hour. Let's just look at a quick deal here. Let's just jump in. Yep. Also looks like it needs to go to the bathroom, but looks like it, unless it's sped up, it looks like it's moving faster than the Tesla robot.
Yeah.
Kind of weird because the head isn't really a head so much as
It
it's just like a Dyson circle.
Yep.
It's got a vacuum arm, it looks like.
Yep. Okay, so that was one. Then we have, what is this? The Amica from Engineered Artists. This looks like a drawing a cat. Oh, it's a full robot. Okay, I thought we were going to just see a hand or something.
Oh, this is the one that has focused much more on facial expressions.
Yeah. So they're asking questions of it.
Yeah.
I generate my drawing image through the open source neural network project Stable Diffusion.
Yeah.
And that is what we need.
So that's interesting.
So,
Whether it's a cuddle when we're feeling down.
so now the robot's actually drawing with like a marker on or maybe it's I'm not sure if it's like a digital whiteboard, but regardless.
Very cool.
Yeah. I mean, when you
There you
think
go,
about how
drawing
much
a cat or
engineering,
something.
right, to be able to control the pen and
Yeah.
the pressure and the
Figure is a US-based robotics. This is a new one known as the Figure 01 or 1 general purpose humanoid robot that walks dynamically. It's 5.5 feet tall. Let's look at this one really quick. Okay. All right. Same thing, kind of a shuffle step. Again, reminds me of my my affectionately what I would call Pop-Up, my grandfather from growing up, walking just like him. Sort of a shuffle step move. Okay.
It's
Kind of
interesting to me that the shuffling gait is something that's apparently easier for someone who's lost some capabilities physically to accomplish, right? As you get older, you end up moving towards a more shuffling gait. And apparently it's easier to program that as well. So
Right.
there's some higher level of sophistication in our ability to move that has to be added to those AIs to get them past the sort of geriatric shuffling and towards more dynamics like the Boston Dynamics robots.
Right. It's a balance thing, I think, right? So like
I would imagine so.
how long
Yeah.
can you keep one leg off the ground and still stay balanced? As you
Yeah,
lose
yeah.
that, you start to
Good.
shuffle.
So I'll show just a few more here because it's 15. There's more probably we want to go through, but this Evo bot. Now, this isn't a full bot. This is just 2 legs on wheels. So let's just look at what this one does.
Plus, we've also seen robots that can grasp and carry objects.
Okay.
The
So it's
Evo
got a
2 legs on wheels.
basketball.
Plus arms. Yeah, this is cool.
What is it? It must have a gyroscope in it.
Right. It does. It looks like a Segway almost in that sense, right?
Yeah.
Facing along with other sensors and mapping systems.
So
Yep.
I live in a big condo community, and I am very interested in this kind of thing as like something that could help the community from a security standpoint, and also from like, you know, can I text it and say, meet me at the parking space so that you can help me carry in the stuff that I just got?
Yeah.
Right? Like,
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. We got some Amazon robots, which is like, you know, filling bins at Amazon. Amazon has been a huge leader in that. We have the Disney one that we saw come out not too long ago in October. It says you have these sort of Disney, sort of more fun. They have like sort of a, you know, Star Wars vibe to them with these robots. I think they've started to see these around Disneyland a little bit. Or Wall-E. Yeah, it looks like a little bit like a Wall-E robot. Cool idea with this. I think, you know, to see more of this would be pretty cool in and around the parks, just to see a little bit more interaction of robots that are, you know, sort of walking around amongst them with like maybe a handler that's doing. I could totally see this. So this is pretty cool. And obviously with some of the real function of some of these animatronics, obviously that's going to get into the Disney Imagineering as well and make the rides feel more. I'm going to be at Epcot in a few days. It's going to make the, you know, the rides feel even more human-like and all that kind of stuff. So, and I think we have a few more here, but we'll just cut it there. But yeah, Spot, which is the Boston Dynamics one. And then this guy, a compassionate companion for autism therapy. I'll go, well, let's do this one really quick. All right, robotics in autism therapy is coming out as a boon for millions. It fosters engagement, consistency, and tailored support, enhancing social, emotional, and cognitive development for those with autism. Meet NAO, N-A-O, I don't know if that's how you say it, a compassionate companion for autism therapy, providing personalized support to children and their families. Let's just take a quick look at this. Now, this robot's only about 2 feet tall, and he's standing on a desk.
Yep.
And
Yeah,
we
interesting.
can't hear what they're saying, but he also looks like he needs to be sort of supported by the person behind him. So lots and lots and lots coming as far as robots. Obviously, a lot of this already exists today. This isn't like future tech. You know, we just watched what? At the end of 2023, we watched 4 or 5 different companies that have robots that are no longer tethered to the wires behind them anymore. You know, we saw the Chinese one where the traditional thing where they're kicking them or pushing them off balance and they stay on balance, no problem, and they recenter. So the days of a wire being tethered behind a robot for it to do what it needs to do are clearly gone. And this is now what we're getting. And then if you layer that in with, like you're saying, Andy, the onboard LLMs, you really do have something that starts to become highly, beneficial in a lot of different areas.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Brian. That was a really great tour of the world of robotics coupled with AI. I want to share something. I'm going to share my screen and just move to something that's, you know, more immediately available to anyone who's watching. That is kind of a fun toy, and this is ChatGPT with DALL-E 3. And what I did last night is I said, well, let's do a little Santa themed thing. And I said, okay, show me this control room that's now, serving a much larger population. It's populated by elves. And then I said, okay, that's really cool. But what's really fun and easy is I then shifted over to decohere.
Yeah.
And I made it move literally with one click. And so that's the place where we are in terms of the screen-based toys that you can play with. And that's something that you can do right away. It literally took me all of maybe 3.5 minutes to do that. And I didn't have to do much more than write a sentence about what the image was that I wanted. I wanted to share with you something, though, that I came across just a couple of days ago. We don't talk about Meta very often. We do mention them, but they're not often listed among the conversations we have, in the comparos of the chatbots yet. But Meta is it's a center of excellence for the development of AI. And this thing that they've done, Cicero, is really amazing. It's the first agent that can play like a human in a strategically reasoning game, specifically diplomacy. And I'm just scrolling through the images on the screen. This guy, Jan LeCun, is the VP and chief AI scientist at Meta. He's always at all the conferences and so on. So this is a game that has to, the Turing test is all about, can you tell whether it's a human or not? Well, this AI plays just like a human in developing strategy. And there's an example down here that's playing on the screen where France says, you have Serbia and Rome to take. And Turkey says, they're impossible targets. And then France says, Greece, Ionian Tyre. You're right, Turkey says, good ideas. It's a dialogue talking about strategy, collaborative strategy in a like a geopolitical game. And they then talk about how they built that game. And this is just it's an indication of where we're gonna end up with AIs that are reasoning capable and have been programmed to do things that are at an advanced level. I've never played diplomacy. I'd be afraid to try it because I'd feel like my strategic skills in that realm would be poor. But Cicero has been programmed to do that and can play it right now.
So is anyone else having flashbacks to war games? Right. The only way to win world domination is to not try to dominate the world. But there is a documentary called AlphaGo, which is about DeepMind's AI that was trained to play Go, which is an ancient game, and it's a fascinating documentary if you're interested in any of this. It was also trained to play humans, but the reason that it was successful is that it did not play human-like, right? But one of the things that's really interesting about that documentary is you watch in real time the engineers realize that it has taught itself non-human strategy. Right? Because it was being educated on how humans play, and it was a big thing in the Asian world. So it was broadcast. There were people live broadcasting the thing. All of that's in the documentary, and you can see the shock on everyone's face when the move was made. That is not a human move. No one would choose to make that move.
Yeah, I love that idea. Well, listen, we're coming up on time here, and I want to try to keep this one close to 30, but let's just kind of run around as three of us, right? So what I would love to know maybe is a sort of a wrap up is in 2024, because we've talked about some really big, far-fetching, but then also close here. In 2024, what are some of the industries that you think will be, in terms of tech, gadgetry, toys, will be the most impacted? And I'll give mine very quickly. I think wearables we've already seen this. I didn't get a chance to show it, but Apple with their heads up display that you can see through, it's kind of creepy looking. But then they're also coming soon with Apple glasses. Maybe we already know Meta has the glasses. Smartwatches are getting smarter, the pin, all of it, right? So I think wearables in 2024 with AI infused, huge advancements there. I would say outside of that, where do I think we'll see the biggest like impact? Probably therapy. Honestly, I think we're going to see more tech and gadgets and stuff that have something to do with therapy. We sort of talked a little bit about that, whether it's the AI dog or it's just BetterHelp, but more, AI infused and stuff. I think those are probably two of the areas I would say 2024, we're going to see some big pushes in those areas. What do you guys think?
I'll say, I think that, Alexa and Siri, have been in the home for a long time. I think
Sure.
you're going to see tremendous advances in 2024.
Good
The
call.
home is going to get much smarter,
Mm.
and it'll be integrated with, Internet of Things communication within your Wi-Fi network. And so there'll be just an explosion of capabilities driven by those AI conversational interfaces, Alexa and Siri.
So I'm going to go for educational tech. So the robots that we've talked about, the dog and that kind of stuff, have been comforting and playful. But there are some beginning robots that are basically tutors for your kid. I do think that all of this, I'm sure we're going to have a show about it, comes with like, hey, these are some red flags you should be aware of. But in the same reason that I'm excited about being able to teach myself content based on my learning style, there will be robots that can make expressions, not like the face mask that we saw, but like have a screen, right?
Yeah.
So that you can see lips moving and that kind of stuff. And there are some already. The ones that I saw were about 700, 600. And those prices will come down. And I think that will be a huge shift that kids can interact.
Yeah, no, huge. I agree with you. The smart home education, wearables, maybe the mental health side of things, or the just health in general. Would love to see that. I think those are all real good guesses for 2024. Okay, let's just talk real quick as we wrap things up for our Christmas episode. Talk about what is coming up this week, because this isn't the only day we're here. So today was all about Christmas. Tomorrow we're talking about the future role of websites in business, how websites are going to have to adapt to AI. Wednesday we have the news, as always, what's been going on in the last 7 days, and what that'll be interesting to talk about. Thursday is our AI prediction show for 2024. So maybe some of this stuff is going to come up because we were just talking about some of specifically the gadgets, but we'll put our predictions for 2024 so we can see a year from now whether we were right or not. And then Friday, we have a review of some of the more popular image upscalers. There's been a couple that have come on.
Magnific. Yes.
Yeah, Magnific.
Super excited.
Also, just what Midjourney's doing and other upscalers are doing as well, and what that means. So that'll be great. And then next week, just very briefly, we have AI relationships. We'll be back next week on January 1. So for our first show of the year of 2024, AI relationships, talking about Digi and some other ones out there. That's going to be an interesting topic. Tuesday of next week, we have discussing small businesses. Do they have a competitive advantage against medium and large size businesses because of how quickly they can adapt and move with AI? Wednesday will be the news. Thursday, this is January 4th, super alignment. Can't wait to talk about that. And then Friday, 1/5, we'll be talking about what do you need to know about prompt engineering to be successful in 2024. A lot of it stayed the same. OpenAI just put out some really great stuff about prompt engineering. We're going to give you our best tips and advice for prompt engineering to make you successful in 2024, no matter what job you're doing and all that kind of stuff. So lots of good shows coming up. Merry Christmas, Andy. Merry Christmas, Beth. Thanks for coming and hanging out today. And I will be back. I think we'll all of us be in and out this week or whatever, but I'm sure it'll be a bunch of great shows. And that's that. Merry Christmas,
I'm
everybody.
here all week. Join me.
Ho.
I'm here all week. I'll be in and out. All right, guys. Ho, ho, ho to everybody, and have a wonderful one. See ya.